Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Emmy Grimes. I'm an advisor here at Senergy Medical Group. We are live on our Facebook live stream. I've got Dr. Chase Faldmo here today, going to be speaking to us about options for detoxing at the Tennant Institute. And we just wanted to bring you some more great information about that. Guys, I'm excited. We've got some great topics we're talking about today. So Chase, let's dive in.
All right.
So we understand that the Tennant Institute is offering more options to detox. Tell us, what are these offerings that you guys are going to be giving?
Awesome. Well, this year I wanted to give people some financial flexibility. So we've included 2 additional options of what you could do. So some of you have already had the experience. We call it the comprehensive detox. If you come in person, what happens is when you come in person, we run you on something called a Guardian frequency digitizer. That's actually able to read toxic frequencies from your body. It takes them and it flips them, creating antidote frequencies, and it places antidote frequencies in a bottle. I can then test you up to 10 additional antidote frequencies based on your history and your body's needs. And we can digitize all these antidote frequencies in this bottle, and then we drive it in through the scalar energy of the transducer. Because when you introduce the antidote frequency to the frequency of the toxin, it helps cancel out the frequencies of the toxins, which allows your body to better detox it, since these toxins won't be electron stealers anymore. So that's our comprehensive detox if you're in person. But the cool part is you also have, for those who can't travel, we can do this through telemedicine as well. So, and for those who can't be in person, the cool part is you can send in a hair and a nail sample, and we can digitize antidote frequencies based on your DNA without you having to be here in person. Wow. And then we, again, can add up to 10 additional antidote frequencies based on your history and what I find in the samples. And we can send you the bottle to take orally at home. So it's just amazing. So that's one option. That's our comprehensive detox.
That's awesome.
Now, I've added, again, some more financial flexibility, for your pocketbooks. And so I have another level where instead of we repeat the same process as we talked about before, if you're in person, we run this frequency digitizer on you, which will find antidote frequencies to specific toxins based in your DNA. And then if you maybe only have 1 or 2 complaint toxins you get exposure to, we can add an additional 2 antidote frequencies. We do muscle testing, drive it in through scalar energy. And again, for those who can't travel, you can also send a hair and a nail sample. So that would be our standard detox. So we got our comprehensive, what's the higher level, our standard, and then I also got a general detox. Now, for those of you who just want a general detox, we can bring you in, run that frequency digitizer on you to create antidotes. We place those antidotes in the bottle, drive it in through scalar energy, and send you home with a bottle. And again, for those who are virtual and telemedicine, you just send in your hair and nail sample. We create the antidotes, send you the bottle. You can take it from the comfort of your home without traveling. So I love this because this is going to give people a lot of flexibility financially and with what they're able to do, whether it's come in person or do it from home.
That's so cool. And the ability to just technology in general, the ability to be able to take a hair and a nail sample just to get antidotes at the end of it. I mean, wow, it's amazing how far we've come. So cool. Thank you for sharing just the breakdown of that, because I think, this is good for all levels, anywhere you are in this place, to utilize these types of appointments and these sessions with you. So with each detox option available, is it something that should be done on a regular basis? Okay. Would you say?
Great question. So, I like to put this in the perspective of a good, better, best. It's good to get a detox no matter what level it is. Again, whether it's a comprehensive, standard, or general, it's good to get it, as needed, or especially if you've had any kind of dental work done recently, it's good to get it done after you've had significant dental work done, or maybe if you've had a surgery of some sort, or maybe you've had exposure to some sickness where you feel like your body wasn't the same after being sick, or you got exposed to something and your body wasn't the same after. So it's one of those things that's good to get it as needed, but it's even better if you can at least get one of these levels at least once a year. That's even better. And best is if you can do this at least twice a year, every 6 months. The reason is that it allows your system to detox and allows your system to build back up again. And over time, we're all going to get exposures to different toxins. And so when you do it every 6 months, you just have that maintenance thing. So things don't go downhill too quickly. So good, better, best.
That's good to know, because I think that a lot of people don't even know where to begin with that. So that's some good options to understand when to come in and what. So who would you recommend for these scenarios and these appointments?
Well, great question. So, everyone has a different experience in life. Some people have had tons of exposures to different toxins, whether it be in their workplace or they live close to a factory or industry, or, there could be various things. But if you've had the more exposures you had, it's a good idea to get the comprehensive one at least once. And then over time, as you can eliminate what you can exposure-wise, whether you get filters in your house, whether it's water filters or air filters, and over time, you could do the next levels. But the more exposures you get to toxins, the better it is to get the higher level one. So for those of you who maybe only get exposure to maybe one or two things, like people who live maybe in the country where they might have neighbors who are farmers and they spray maybe just pesticides and that's all they get exposure to, the standard detox might be a better option because you only want to really focus on one or two things.
Yeah.
And for those patients who are more wellness, where they just want a general maintenance, they know they keep their eating healthy and they got their filters, and they just want a general detox every once in a while, the general detox works great for them. So really, you got to think about what works for you and apply it.
That's good to know. Well, thank you for sharing with that. So how would you prepare one for these types of appointments?
Right. So if you're coming in person and online, you got to fill out the paperwork. I have over 600 antidote frequencies to specific toxins. So we want to try to focus on what's a priority. And that paperwork you fill out really helps us figure out what are things you've definitely had exposure to, so we can narrow down and figure out what you need. Okay. Now, not only that, for those of you who do it virtually, again, get a hair and a nail sample sent in. Very easy. Take a hair sample, nail sample, put it in a plastic bag, put it in an envelope, send it. That would be the two things. And the third thing that you'd want to look into doing is when we run these antidote frequencies on people, these toxins are getting released from inside the cells. And so you want something to bind to it. So the best binder I've seen is something called bamboo charcoal. So we have Dr. Tennant's bamboo charcoal. It binds to these toxins. We've either killed off, weakened, demagnetized, and it'll bind to it so your body can eliminate it so it doesn't get reabsorbed back in the system. So those are the three major things.
That's really cool. Okay. So here's kind of going to another question to the other side of the flip coin, I guess you could say. Can you utilize your equipment, for those of you that have like the Tennant biomodulator and the transducer at home? That would be, I'm curious, can you use the equipment?
Absolutely. So what's cool is I want to show y'all something new today. So if any of you have your biomodulators and transducers close, I'll show you something you could do today to help your lymphatic system.
Awesome.
your lymphatic system is your sewage system in your body. They also call it the secondary circulatory system. And it takes toxins out of tissues and organs, and it dumps it into the circulatory system to be eliminated. So you always want your lymphatic system running from head to toe. So we're going to have more information from a video on Senergy Universe, but I'll show y'all right now some of these points you can hit with the biomodulator transducer. It does not take long.
Great.
What I do is we're going to turn on the biomodulator, have our transducer plugged in here, and I go to 10-8 mode. I select 10-8 mode, and I'm going to hit the plus button and power it all the way up. The first point I start with is going to be at your collarbone, scientifically known as the clavicle. Now, you're going to go right in the middle of your collarbone here, and you're going to kind of go midline to it, kind of in line with the nipple, and you just place the transducer right below the collarbone. And what's cool is when you start to use this equipment, over time, you're going to be able to feel stuff, you know, with your fingers and physically. But when I put my finger close to this area, the muscles and the tissue actually lighten up after holding this even just a couple of seconds. And you know when your lymphatic system's moving when it's doing that, or sometimes you even feel the area cool down a little bit. You only need about 5 or 10 seconds here, and you go to the other side, same place, in the middle, just below the clavicle, in line with the nipples, 5 or 10 seconds here. The next place we're going to go, and we're always going to start on the right side, is we're going to start on the right side when we switch sides of the body, I should say. Next place we're going to go, you're going to take the transducer and you're going to follow that same line you were at, but you are going to find just the bottom of the rib cage there. Hold it on there about 5 or 10 seconds. Then we'll switch sides. Same area, right at the rib cage. Hold it on 5 or 10 seconds. And the final 2 spots for this part of the abdomen and torso, you're going to find the front of your hip bone here, and you're going to draw a line about 1/3 of the way there, right there, 5 or 10 seconds, and you'll feel it release, and then 5 or 10 seconds here. Then you're going to move to the back. On the back, you're going to find this bone. It's called your scapula. Some people call it the shoulder blade, or some people, if you're funny, you call it the chicken wing. You can find that bone by putting your arm back, and it's this little bone here that sticks out. You kind of find that top and inside of that bone, but we're going to, again, always start on that right side. Hold it kind of the top and middle of that bone there, 5 to 10 seconds. Left side, 5 to 10 seconds. You're going to then find the bottom of your rib cage on your back. And once you find the bottom of your rib cage, you're going to count up, go up about 1 rib, and you're going to keep in line with that scapula I told you about, the middle of it. You're going to put it right about there. The nice part is with a lot of these points, the biomodulator transducer combo is so powerful, you don't have to stress about getting exactly in the right area. You get in the general area, and you're going to get that lymph drainage point. 5, 10 seconds. Left side, same spot, 5, 10 seconds. The last points you'll do is you find the top of your hips, and you're going to draw a line to the middle of your back on your spine from the top of your hips. You count up 2 bumps, and you're going to be at a bone called L2. You're going to go right to the side of L2 in line with the middle of your scapula there, or shoulder blade, 5 or 10 seconds, and then 5 or 10 seconds on the right side. So right, left, left, right. I guess I should have gone right, left on the hips too.
That's okay.
That's okay. You'll have more information. The video is coming up.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Chase.
Our final 2 spots, I like to get around the head, go around the ears on the right, then around the ears on the back on the left, And then I like to also get the teeth here. If you have to close your eyes, you can. This one doesn't bother me as much. But again, just 5 or 10 seconds each area. These are lymphatic drainage points, and we'll have more information, more videos coming out.
So we have a question that I think is really important. Does it matter if you have the biotransducer Crystal Wave or Pro? How does that affect the timing that you're using it?
Oh, great question. So the Pro is a little bit more powerful. Generally, you can get everything done with the Pro in half the time.
Right.
So I say 5 or 10 seconds because it only takes about 5 seconds for the Pro. With the Crystal Wave, it usually takes about 10 seconds. Sometimes it can take a little bit more, but as you do this, whether it's daily, once a week, and you do it consistently, then it takes faster and faster each time.
That's so good. Okay, good. Yeah. So that was my next question, how often you were going to be doing it, but once a week. That's great.
Yeah, great to do at least once a week.
That's awesome. Well, this is amazing information, and I'm so excited to even do it on my own self now. So I'm ready to get started on that. Is there anything that you want to share further with our audience today? Just to give them tips and mention out there to them. Oh, you know what? We can mention. I wanted to mention to everyone that you are offering these. Aren't you doing this at the Integrative Health Conference?
I am.
Oh,
yep. Whether it's in person or you're coming virtually and joining us, yeah, we'll have both options available.
That's awesome. Yes, and forgive me, I wanted to mention that because it definitely, this is a great way, guys, just to give your body that detox that perhaps your body needs. And this is the fundamentals of healing the body, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well,
so one further thing I would like to share that I should mention, it's February. A lot of people in January have their weight loss and slimming goals. Again, one thing with the lymphatic system is when the lymphatic system's not draining, you're going to both feel and maybe look a little bit more bloated. So these are great points to hit that helps you feel and look less bloated. So
yes.
get your exercise goals in.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. That's awesome. Oh.